Hey there, folks. Good morning. This week, it's Thanksgiving. And don't you find it so fascinating? I certainly do, and that's why I'm going to talk about it, that we have Thanksgiving this week. In the last video, I was talking about this being Scorpio season. So for thousands of years, this has been considered a hard time of the year. It makes sense from the fall equinox to the winter equinox. So obviously that's when the cold showed up. The savior was gone from the world is what they believe. That was light because the days were actually getting shorter, where days are shortening extensively. Plants, everything would have died because it's getting colder, and the land you lived off of would have stopped producing fruit, literally, for you. So this would have been a time of hardship, understandably, when you didn't have grocery stores and heat. And, that was kind of always what people believe. But interestingly enough, it's also playing out in the stars, in the constellations. So right now we have the scorpion and the serpent in the stars. So even though we're cushioned from the hardship of this time of year, at least north of the equator, somewhat, we're still feeling it. Everybody's been going through it the last few weeks. But what I'm talking about is the scorpion or serpent is symbolic of something in your life you need to work out. And it's really going to become very pronounced at this time of year. So sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friends, but everybody's having a challenge. Sometimes it's money. There's an area of your life that is becoming more exaggeratedly painful and causing you suffering during this time. So what's fascinating about this time, so that's what was playing out in the stars, right? And now we have Thanksgiving. Well, that's only something that's a relatively new development. And you could deep dive and dice it up in a group and say it's a horrible holiday and we shouldn't celebrate it. But to me, the mechanism of how it showed up is irrelevant. That it showed up because of what I'm talking about here is a sign of it's spiritual support. It's an answering to an asking. So we're going through hard times. So if you follow Abraham or the laws of creation, right? Step one is asking. That comes through contrast. So what is contrast? The difficult times of our life, the experiences, suffering. And because of those experiences, sometimes we're consciously asking for things. I would like more money. I would like, a better job. Sometimes we're unconsciously asking. You don't need to consciously be asking. It's just something that happens energetically. You're just creating and asking. 2 is spirit answers. And 3 is that you've got to let it in. So we don't do step 2. We've got to get to step 3, which is letting in what we've been asking for. So your scorpion, your serpent is being revealed to you. But how do you get away from that? How do you overcome it? You've got to shift into feeling abundant and happy in some way. Key up Thanksgiving. Here we go. What a cool development to have at the end of this season to help us shift focus on abundance, which literally is what Thanksgiving's about, right? Look at our abundant harvest. So we can welcome in the new year, the springtime, the birthing, the savior returns at winter equinox. And fascinatingly, at this time, there's a 13th constellation I didn't know about. Shows up November 20th, right around Thanksgiving. Nobody knows about him. Nobody has him for a sign. His name's Epicurus. I think that's how you say it. But he's the serpent wrestler or the scorpion wrestler. He's the next constellation that shows up that's literally like clubbing the scorpion, stepping on the serpent before it all shifts again. And so the savior being born the end of December is an ancient truth, whether you believe it for Christianity or not. We should all jump on this energetic bandwagon. So it's a really interesting time that Thanksgiving shows up right as Scorpio shifts out and the serpent wrestler comes in. So what are we going to be going into? We're going to be going into identifying what our Scorpio or serpent is, which is really a symbol of transformation, that next thing that we really want to shift, break down to break through. And then starting around Thanksgiving, we're going to start to focus on abundance and attracting that new energy. But really, some of the wrestling with that serpent is going to begin. So what does that mean? We don't really want to get caught up in fighting or, but it's going to happen. But really starting to take our power back is what that is. And saying, you know what? This thing I want to transform. Like I am the one that's creating it and making it powerful. And I'm the one who gets to take my power back because I'm creating it and I want something different. And you don't have to actually be fighting with something to be metaphorically fighting or overcoming something. And then we're going to do that through November into December. And then right as the Christmas celebration comes along, it's like, okay, days start to get longer. We've had success. We've worked through that and we're going to start a new year and we're going to really focus on shifting. Everybody commits to, your New Year's resolutions. What is that really? That's really having shifted from this sort of wrestling, this challenge, getting rid of this Scorpio or serpent in your life. And regardless of what you think about any of it, you can use this energy of this time of year and bandwagon on it to work through your life. And what's hilarious is before I had any understanding of any of this has happened to me. So I'll give you a quick example of what this looks like in my life. And just a real world example of what it can look like, I should say. So I'll pick a particular example. Actually, in reflection, it's happened a few times to me during this time of year without realizing what was going on. But 5 years ago, I have a big anniversary coming up, so I'm excited. So 5 years ago, I was going through something really dark, a hero's journey, we'll say, like challenging, difficult. And I was starting to come out of it. I had started to become a certified coach, and I was doing this. I was trying to transition. I thought my life was getting better, but a big serpent or scorpion in my life was being revealed to me. So my scorpion would have been, I'd started drinking too much. I was alone. I was sad, and it had sort of become my friend or a stabilizer, but it was not my friend, right? You can't be an inspirational life coach and be drinking too much. It pushes people away. You aren't thriving. You aren't living a balanced, healthy life. I show up at my parents in Colorado. There was a lot of strife around Thanksgiving. There was just a lot happening because of what I'd been through and blah, 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 details that are unnecessary. But they were kind of challenging me on this point and kind of seeing what was going on and saying, hey, this is something you need to deal with. I was like, no, I know I had a very strong asking at that time to want to have this scorpion removed from my life. I might not have been willing to let it go on my own, but I wanted to be thriving and free and inspirational and happy. And so what happened? November 30th, I got a DUI. And thankfully, no one got hurt. So anyway, I came around, I got a DUI. I woke up December 1st in jail and realizing like, oh my God, my whole life has changed. Thinking it's the worst thing possible, of course. And it didn't look great at that time. Getting arrested is never really considered a positive development in your life. But now I see it was the exact answer to my asking, because I wanted to resolve things with my family. I didn't want to have strife. I wanted to live a good, inspirational life. I wanted to connect with nature again. I got to spend several years out on the range. So immediately, starting December 1st, I'll say, I was sober. And this December 1st, I celebrate 5 years without a drink. Like, how amazing is that? I'm so excited. Because it was removed from me, that scorpion or serpent, not in a very pleasant, easy way, but in a very effective way. And so it's just a real world example of what it can look like to really identify something you want to. Usually it's not that dramatic, but it's helped me realize what this is all about a bit more. But I just wanted to come out and talk about what's happening at this time of year. The real gift of Thanksgiving is the energetic vibrational opportunity to shift into allowing all the goodness to flow in, all the things we've learned and difficulty from our pain and suffering. Like, don't waste your suffering. Own it, love it, realize you've attracted it because you want to learn something and you want to shift something in your life. Nobody's doing it to you. It's coming to you because of what you've asked for. And so now own it, say, okay, I've asked for this. This is awesome. And now I'm going to shift into I'm going to shift into focusing on all the awesome things in my life. And I'm going to let this suffering or this pain, like what I've asked for during that time, flow in. And I'm going to let God, or let spirit, or however you want to say it, show me my deservability, my worthiness, the grace and mercy of the power that is. Because once you begin to open up to it and allow it, you don't need to have a name for it. You don't need to be able to explain it. You are the creator of your reality. And as long as you open up to the idea that you are the attraction point, you are in control, you are the one that can allow all the goodness that you know on some level you want and deserve into your life, you're unstoppable. There's nothing that can stop you. And I'm here as your cheerleader and supporter. And everything that I learn and am growing, I want to share it with you because we do this together. And one of my big areas of abundance that's been coming to my attention recently is my ability to attract an incredible team. I started at a new job. No one had applied for these positions in a year. It's very difficult to staff in our city. But I showed up, suddenly we got applicants coming out of our ears, and they're awesome. And you're part of that team. We may not work together, but you are coming here to watch this video because we have something in common. We are reflections of each other. You can only be in a relationship with yourself, be it someone you work with, someone you sleep with, your family, or your coworkers, or someone you watch on YouTube. And for me, someone who might subscribe to my YouTube. We are all alike, and there's no accident that you're here. And this next year for me is going to be about truly expanding this. I've been working on this raw and I feel it. Next year, I'm going into my master's program. It's going to be about executive coaching and consulting. I'm going on a cruise with Abraham, which is my honeymoon. Like, I'm really going to be bringing these concepts as I learn and live what we're talking about with you. We're going to blossom together. It's the time of blossoming. And if you're not quite there, don't worry about it. You know, I just shared with you I was a total poop show 5 years ago, but I was in this process of becoming. And I stopped coaching. I stopped that journey because I had some work to do on myself, and I've done my work well, and it was fun. I've expanded so much so that now it's feeling so easy to start to get this stuff and really believe and own and take it on. You know, like this is me in my beautiful new cashmere sweater. Look at my beautiful new pants. And shoes, aren't those cute? My little Oxfords. You missed the buckle. But everything in my life is flourishing, and it's not from YouTube's money, it's from other places in my life. And I want to share this with you. I'm not here to sell you anything. I know that this is something words don't teach, only life experience teaches, but energy is contagious. And so if you're here with me, I'm not someone that just gives lip service. I walk the walk. And I talk. I walk the walk of the talk that I talk. And so if you're here with me, I'm contagious. And so you're going to begin to experience this in your life. It's not about what we say we believe or what we say we think. It's about how we live. And this is an incredible opportunity to begin to see that there is a bigger natural pattern happening. And I want you to jump on that bandwagon. And I want you to join me. And I want you to come with me and live this life that's amazing, because only you can do it for you. No one can give it to you. I'm doing it for me, and then I'm sharing it. You know, I started this as a happiness journey a couple of months ago, and like I've expanded, it's so graceful, but I've expanded so much. My happiness, my joy, everything is just growing in leaps and bounds at such a level that I'm really blown away by my own progress. And that's simply because I'm just allowing, I'm spending more time being happy and not focusing on what isn't working and just enjoying. And that's what's really creating the difference. So enough out of me. We'll be talking more about abundance and fun things this week. I hope you join me. If not, I'll be thinking about you and sending you loving thoughts and words. And yeah, take care. It's the season of abundance. Let's embrace it. Much love.